Hi my friends, it's Jeannie Rainey here. Welcome back to my craft room, where today we're going to be using the Season's Blessings bundle, which comes with a stamp set and dies. We'll start out with crumb cake and an embossing folder. Look at the beautiful texture you get from the folder. Then we're going to stamp, adding an additional color with my dauber. Starting out with Daffodil Delight and then adding Calypso Coral. Now, my stamp pads, I just re-inked them all, so they're a little bit too juicy, and that's why I'm having to stamp off. And then we'll be using dies to cut these out, so I just wanted to conserve space. Now I'm starting out with Old Olive here, and then I'm going to add Mossy Meadow around the edges to give a varying color effect. There we go. Now pull out the dies and I'll take them to my machine and go cut them out. Now I cut these out of basic white, the baskets, and I just wanted 3 different sizes, so I cut out 3 different sizes. Then I'm going to color with blends. This first color is Daffodil Delight. And then I'm going to go to Cajun Craze and then Night of Navy. At the end of the video, I will have a sheet of paper that has all the supplies used, so at that time you can screenshot or pause the video and get all the details of the supplies used. Isn't that fun? Okay, I'm going to back these with some designer paper. In Good Taste is the name of this series paper, and it is awesome. There's so many different textures to choose from wood grain to tile to paint to fabrics. This is just a fantastic designer series paper. I'm just going to choose a lighter background one, wood grain. Then I'm going to adhere my basket pieces just with liquid adhesive, and then I'll fussy cut them out. Now I'll start assembling. I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive on the first layer, And this layer is a 3.5 by 5. Then I'll just start layering my foliage and flowers. I'm going to save this piece for later. There we go. I wanted it to be behind. Okay, now for the little flower, I'm going to use a dimensional. And that's it for the big basket. Then I need to assemble these flowers with the stems. The Take Your Pick tool is so amazing for little things like this. So then just continuing to arrange my flowers. And then my sentiment, I'm only using part of it, so I just am really careful to ink up just the portion that I want. So thankful. Then I'm going to banner cut one edge. Now I'm ready to use dimensionals on all the baskets and flowers. One thing I did forget to do is I meant to use some twine, and so afterwards I tied a bow and I put it onto the yellow basket just to finish it off well. Because this is cardstock, it's pretty heavy, I can use my liquid adhesive to adhere this to my card base. Sometimes, if you're just using a designer series paper like this card, you'll want to use your tear and tape to adhere it. Now this card designer paper is fantastic. Your Peach designer series paper comes with fabulous choices. So this layer is from that set of designer series paper. So I'm just using my blending brush with Balmy Blue on the designer paper just to add to it. And see, I always tap after I re-ink, tap it on a piece of paper so you don't get blotches. Now I'm going to use my Bumblebee, Just Jade, and Misty Moonlight inks for these leaves. And then I'm going to emboss. So I'm putting all 3 of my leaves on the same acrylic block, and I spaced them so that I can die cut them out well. But rather than putting them individually on a block, just makes it easier to stamp them all at once. And this is gold embossing powder. So I used the Versamark, now gold embossing powder. And then I'll heat emboss. But first I wanted to get my sentiment on my top layer. May your day be filled with good things is the sentiment for this card. Then I will heat and then go ahead and die cut. Now this die cut gives you two separate pieces. I decided to cut off about 1/2 inch off the one edge, and I'm going to use that on the inside of my card. Again, the tear and tape is really good for this. Designer series paper is so lightweight that sometimes if you use liquid adhesive it bubbles, or you can or it kind of warps the paper. So with designer series paper, it works real good to use the tear and tape. Now to try to arrange how I want the foliage on here, just kind of set it out, take a look at it, and decide how I want it. Then go ahead and put my Stampin' dimensionals on the back. And then I'll use the gold leaves to fill in any spaces. I try to tuck them in underneath the leaves using liquid adhesive. And then as well with the liquid adhesive, just adhere my card front to my card base. And that's the last card. Now the other cards are available on the Stampin' Up! YouTube. I thank you for watching my video today of the Season's Blessing bundle. I hope you enjoyed it. Share and like my video if you would. Now here's where you can screenshot the ingredients or the supply list for each card. Again, thank you for watching.